Hello and welcome to our live webinar series, Moneyfy Mantra. Here, we talk to industry experts on important topics to empower our audience with practical knowledge on personal finance. Before we start, let me give some details about our platform, which is Moneyfy by Tata Capital. This offers a complete suite of financial products 100% digitally. One can start their investing journey in mutual funds with the SIP option, invest in equity baskets through small cases, open a retirement account with NPS, and apply for all kinds of loans and insurance products as well. If you find our sessions interesting, consider subscribing to the Tata Capital Facebook and YouTube channel and get the latest updates on various financial offerings. I would request all our viewers to share their comments and questions in the chat window, and we'll try to take up as much as we can towards the end of the session. So the topic today is NPS, right? And why it is a must-have in everyone's investment basket, right? A secure and stress-free retirement is definitely on everyone's wish list, right? Everybody aspires to retire early and retire in style, right? With a lot of money, a lot of corpus saved up. National Pension Scheme, is a scheme launched by the government of India in 2009 for all citizens. Does precisely that. This is a custom-made product specifically designed to tackle this desire of people to have a stress-free retirement retirement plan sorted, right? So what we have observed is that of late there has been a steady rise in interest shown towards NPS, and the sort of the awareness about NPS is gaining. Right? It used to be very low, but people are catching up, and thus there has been a lot of queries and a lot of requests for a session detailing the intricacies and certain like deep dive into the benefits of national pension scheme. In order to shed light on this topic, we have a very special guest, Mr. Samuel Nadar, key account manager of Tata AMC. He has been in the finance industry for over 13 years and has extensive experience in corporate and retail NPS business in various organizations. I'm delighted to host this special episode of Moneyfy Mantra with our guest, Mr. Samuel Nadar. Over to you, Samuel.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this introduction. So we'll start the NPS presentation, what NPS is all about, how NPS will help us to secure our retirement, a complete financial planning goal for complete financial plan tool for retirement. Okay, so we'll start as Anthony introduced correctly that it was started in 2009 and it's a government launch scheme. So it was launched in 2004 and it was launched for only for specific group of companies, that is state and central government and SBI group of employees, excluding armed forces. So it was like a launch and it went very well. Government of India thought it's going good. Then what decided in 2009, they opened this scheme for everybody. That means whoever are citizens of India, they can open this account and they can take the benefit. And again, they rework on this model again by including a few more intermediaries like POP and also including few other tax benefit like corporate tax benefit. That is 10% of basic. And in 2012, in that time period, it was relaunched in the, not relaunched, it was again launched for the corporate employees, for the private individual employees. So few start about that, about Tata Pension. Tata Pension is also one of the fund managers in NPS architecture. And so we just, in August, we launched a Tata Pension and we are growing also then. So a few lines about our great visionary J.R.D. Tata. Once he said, "I want India to be a happy country." So yes, so Visionary J.R.D. Tata understood the importance of happy country. A happy country can be achieved once our household, that means our retired life, a senior person in our household, they are happy. So one of the key aspect is retirement scheme, retirement planning, or financial well-being. So, sir, already understood this. That if we want India to be a happy country, it's very important that our senior citizens who who are retired, they should be secure financially. So there are many aspects, but one of the important aspects is financial well-being. Tata Pension is built up on the same vision, and NPS adds power to that vision. Okay, so a small crushed life cycle, how NPS works out. So individual opens an NPS account through CRA, that is NSDL-K FinTech, and then CAMPS. They open the NPS account and then he contributes regularly. That is more important. He invests in NPS regularly, and then he select the fund manager. So out of 10 companies, so he can select any one company. Tata Pension is also one of the fund manager in NPS. Then he regularly invests, and at the age of 60 or up to age 75, if he wants, he can stay invested. And at the time of retirement, he can go for lump sum withdrawal. If he wants to, he can go for lump sum withdrawal, which will be completely tax free. No tax will be debited from the lump sum amount, and remaining 40% that will go in pension scheme, minimum 40%, and from that 40% he'll get pension throughout his life. So this is what, in a crust, I've explained what NPS life cycle is. Key feature of the NPS, I would like to highlight point number one. It is systematically invest and build pension wealth. Yes, that's true. Because we are working, so this is period of investment of period. So we can invest regularly or monthly or annually in NPS or ad hoc investment whenever we want. We can do that. Second is tax planning. Yes, we'll understand this part in detail. Tax part. Third is the market-based return. So, okay, so again, we will put a little light on the market-based return part. Fourth is a low-cost structure. Yes, it is a low-cost structure. Let's say example, if you invest in ELSs or any ULIP policy or any retirement policy, policy scheme or any mutual fund, that carries fund management charges, which comes around 2% or 2.5, depend on the fund houses. But in NPS, the PFM cost, that is fund management cost, is only 0.03% on the higher side. Max side is only 0.09%, which is lowest across industry. Okay, so that makes low cost equity linked saving scheme. Okay, that is point number four. Point number five, professionally fund management. Yes, there are 10 fund management, as I said, all are approved by or are approved as well as regulated by PFRDA. So this scheme, though it's a government scheme, but the players are private and all the individual entities are completely regulated. So PFRDA is a key regulator for this entire NPS scheme. Okay. Coming to the second part, as I said, tax benefit. So NPS also has tax benefit, which we'll understand in detail. So as we can see in this slide is divided in three parts: Part A, Part B, and Part C. So what Part A is? Part A is nothing but our Section 80C, where we have a tax exempt limit up to 1.5 lakhs. So under old tax regime, we have a tax exempt limit up to 1.5 lakhs. So where we declare our own investment, like ULIP policies, investment in ULIP policies, term insurance, and then a Kisan Vikas Patra investment, home loan. So all these, what we do, we declare and we get the tax benefit up to 1.5. So in that also, if let's say your 1.5 limit is not exhausted, you can invest in NPS and you can declare, or you can show as a, you can declare in ATC, and you will get the complete tax benefit up to 1.5 lakhs. So this is part A. Coming to the part B, now this is now each tax section, that is part A, part B, and part C, all three are exclusive. Okay, so it's all additional if we opt. So part B is additional tax section, which we will get under section 80 CCD 1B. Now what this tax section says, if I invest in NPS personally, that means I will open my NPS account and I will invest in NPS. If I do, then additional I'll get 50,000 as a tax benefit. So I can invest any amount. I can invest 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh. As per my need, as per my plan, I can invest any amount. But tax benefit which I'll get is up to 50,000. So that makes the total exempt 1.5 plus 50,000, that becomes 2 lakh. Now there is another one more option, one more tax section where we can save additional tax on that. So that is called corporate model. This section will be enabled to us once our company gets registered. So first of all, we need to check whether our working, if we are salaried employees, whether we need to check whether our company is registered under NPS scheme or not. If they have, then I highly recommend please enroll yourself under this scheme. Uh, and you will get not only you will get tax benefit, but yes, it adds value, it adds wealth of your pension retirement corpus. So I'll highly recommend if your company is already registered under this scheme. If they are not, then you can contact us, you can us, and we will assist you for registration. So under this part C, under CCD2, under this scheme, what additional you will get, that is 10% of your annual basic plus DA. Okay, now let's understand this with a small calculation. Let's assume my annual basic is, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. So 10 lakh at 10%, that comes 1 lakh. Now, what my company payroll will do, they will debit this 1 lakh from my salary. So my CTC will remain the same, but the take home will be reduced by 1 lakh. Now, this 1 lakh, what payroll will do, they will credit this money, 1 lakh rupees, in my NPS account. So the payment mode will be different. So earlier, what was that? It was like my NPS. I have opened my NPS account and I will invest in NPS separately. But here in part C, what is happening? My employer is crediting the money in my NPS account. The payment mode is different. So if this happens, then under this section, 80CCD2 part C, I will be getting additional tax benefit up to 1 lakh. So the example which I took for additional 1 lakh, I'll get as a tax benefit. So if I sum up all these three, part A, part B, and part C, if I add all these three, my total exempt limit will increase to 3 lakh rupees with NPS. Without NPS, only 1.5. Okay. So there is one more rule over here. It's 7.5 lakhs star maximum, which includes three components. So this is a maximum cap limit or maximum tax benefit which I'll get, which we will get under this part C, which includes three components. That is PF plus superannuation plus NPS. So PF, employer PF. So whatever my employer contributes towards my PF. So PF have two components, employee as well as employer. So employer contribution towards PF plus superannuation, if your company has it, then we can add this, plus NPS. So let's take an example, small, 10 lakh is the basic. Let's say 12% is the contribution which my employer does towards my PF. So 10 lakh at 12%, that comes 1 lakh 20. So we'll keep it as 1 lakh 20 here. Superannuation, let's say I'm investing 1 lakh rupees through employer. Let's take an example, 1 lakh, then again 1 lakh. NPS 10% of basic. So again 1 lakh. So if I add these three components, my total comes 3.20, 3 lakh 20,000. So this is what this maximum cap says. The maximum is 7.5 lakhs. So that sum of these three should not exceed 7.5 lakhs. So this is what part C is. I believe you'll be getting some few questions. You can just question in your mind. What I request you, just type it on the chat box, and in the Q&A we will answer your question. Okay, so this is what tax benefit out, which I have explained in detail. Now coming to the second important feature is market-based returns. Now this is very important and amazing feature in NPS. Why? Because if we select any investment, any government-linked investment like Kisan Vikas Patra or any post office scheme or EPF, VPF, or PPF. So what happens in all this investment get invested in government-linked securities, which gives returns around 7% or 8% max to max. But in NPS, so okay, the maximum. But this is the only scheme, government linked investment scheme, where we have an option to invest in equity. So maximum we can invest 75% in equity. Now this is amazing feature, as we are all in developing countries. So economy is growing, and so we have a higher exposure, higher option benefits to get our returns will be higher, not at least 6 and 7, but yes, more than that, because equity is contains risk as well as high returns. As well as if any employee said, I don't want to invest in equity, fair enough, they can invest in corporate bonds and government bonds, which gives returns around 6 to 7% or max to max 8%. So that option is also available. So in investment choice, there are two options, active choice and auto choice. Active choice is something like where I will declare my own ratios. I will share, no, I will tell my own strategy that, let's say I'm investing 1,000 rupees and Tata Pension is my fund manager. So I'm telling Tata Pension, see, this is my 1,000, you invest 600 rupees, that is 60% in equity, remaining 20 in corporate bonds and government bonds. So whenever we do this, that is called active choice. Another one is auto choice. So this is basically for those employees or those subscribers who are not much into the market. For them, this is amazing scheme. Here we have to just select model. If am I aggressive, am I conservative, am I moderate? So looking at our financial risk, accordingly, it will be allocated as per my age and risk. So let's say if I'm opted for moderate, so up to age 35. So let's say I have opened my NPS account, my age is 30, and up to age 35, this will be my investment scheme. Equity will be 50%, remaining in corporate bonds and government bonds. If I select conservative, then 25% in equity, remaining in secure funds. Aggressive, 75%. Maximum will be in equity. So what will happen once my date of birth triggers? Once I turn younger, older, 2036. So what will happen each year? Some portion of equity will be reduced, and it will be auto adjusted between corporate bonds and government bonds. So this is what active and auto choices is all about. Now, let's say if any employee wants any subscriber or any investor open the NPS account by selecting active choice. Now he wants to change to auto choice. Is it possible? So answer is yes, you can do that. 4 times in a year, that option is available, like active to auto or auto to active. Changes in active. Let's say today you invested in equity, maximum 75% you have invested. Then later on, you came to know that market might fall. So I want to secure my money. So I want to change the entire investment pattern to 100% government securities. So is that all these changes are available? So answer is yes, you can do that. 4 times in a year, you can do that. Same way, if you already had a fund manager, let's say you already open your NPS account with fund manager as, let's say, XYZ fund manager. Now you want to change to Tata pension. So it is allowed. So answer is yes. Once in a year, you can change your fund manager. So this is what investment market based return optional, which I'll explain. The third part, important part, is the maturity. When I'll get the money. So coming to the first part, maturity as per scheme, the age is defined as age 60. So we can go for retirement between age 60 to age 75. So in that thing. So in that case, what is the treatment? 60% lump sum I can withdraw. So let's say my total corpus is, let's say, 1 crore rupees. So I can withdraw 60%, 60 lakhs I can withdraw, which will be completely tax free. No tax will be debited from the withdrawal, which I'm doing from NPS scheme. Remaining 40% that will go in pension scheme. And with that pension, with that 40%, I'll get pension throughout my life. Okay. Coming to the second part, premature retirement. In that case, if any employee says that I want to stop working, or any subscriber say let's start the pension, okay, so they can do that anytime. So as I said, as per the scheme is age is 60. If you want to break in between, you can do that. So 20% maximum you can withdraw from the NPS scheme, and remaining 80% will go in pension scheme, and from that you will get pension throughout your life. In case of emergency, if you want to withdraw money, is it allowed? So answer is yes, you can withdraw 25% of the contribution invested. That means whatever you have invested in NPS, out of that 25% you can withdraw in case of emergency withdrawal, a partial withdrawal. In anything happens to life during investment period, that is from the date of account opening till retirement, anything happens to life, what will happen? Entire value, including market price, the units will be allotted to us. So entire value will be given to a nominee. And all these four scenarios, withdrawal, cash withdrawal, or account transfer from NPS, any withdrawal from NPS is completely tax free. No tax will be debited from that. Okay. Just one more minute in that. So whatever we have understood in NPS, so NPS has two arms, two part, tier one and tier two. So whatever we have understood till now, that whichever I have explained, that is NPS tier one. So here we can see the difference, key difference. Tier 1 is the retirement savings account, but the tier 2 is the add-on savings account. So all the retirement features applies to tier 1. That means in tier 1 only we will get the tax benefit. There is a restriction in withdrawal. No, that is 25%, which we just understood that. But in tier 2, it is not like that. I can invest money as much I can. Same way, I can withdraw money as much I can, because it's a saving account. Then what is the difference? So why when investment in tier 2 only gives the tax benefit, but in investment, I'm sorry, investment in tier 1 that will give us tax benefit, but investment in tier 2 will not give any tax benefit. So it might a question might come in your mind, then why to invest in tier 2? I have my own individual savings account. I also have my in personal investment. Then why to open a tier 2 account? Why to invest in tier 2? So answer is very simple, because the fund management cost is very low. It's only 0.09% on the higher side. That is the only difference. So if you invest in mutual fund, which gives which the fund management cost is around 2% to 2.5, but here it is only 0.09%. So that makes NPS as a low cost equity linked investment scheme. Okay, so I have explained, tried to explain as much as I can within 20 minutes. Now I'm open for your question. So you can show, share your question. I'll go through your chats and I will answer all of your question.
Thank you so much, Samuel. That was an awesome crash course on NPS,
Yeah.
I must say. Right.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank you.
yeah. So if you can stop sharing the screen, maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So that was a fantastic session. So to sum up, NPS is a scheme in which you build wealth by investing regularly, right? Whatever you're investing, you get a tax benefit. Whatever interest or returns you get is tax exempt, and maturity withdrawal is tax exempt, right?
Yes.
Not to mention all the other benefits that you mentioned. So this makes it an amazing product. So to take the discussion forward, right? So there are a lot of questions that come in people's minds when they hear about NPS the first time, right? So let's address some of it. So the first one is, how is NPS different from the various retirement and pension products available by private players? What distinguishes NPS from all the private options available? Why the government option? So that is my first question to you.
Okay. So if I compare NPS, which is government scheme, and compare to the other retirement scheme, which of any company, not only private, for any company. So first, key differentiation is the tax benefit. So investment in a retirement scheme that gives a tax benefit under Section 80C only. But in NPS, it is over and above. So we have one additional tax section, that is 8061B, which we get the tax benefit up to 50,000. Plus, if you go for corporate, then additional 10% of basic. So that is the first key differentiator. Second thing, premature exit and partial withdrawal. So this option is available in NPS. So if any employees, any subscriber say, let's exit early. So in retirement case, in retirement schemes, what happens? It is a time bond, like 10 year scheme or 15-year scheme. You can't do a pre-exit. But NPS, you can do a pre-exit. After 5 years, you can do a pre-exit. That is the second differentiator in NPS. Third is the returns part. So if we select any retirement scheme, the IRR of retire investment will not exceed, let's say, max to max is 6%, max to max 6%. It will range between 5.75 to 6%, depend on the products. But in NPS, because that window is open where we can invest in equity, as well as the freedom to change preference scheme, that, as I said, 4 times in a year, the our returns can be in double digits. So this is what three main key differentiator which I mentioned.
Fantastic. So in essence, the absolute flexibility and control that you get on the product, you
Yes.
will not get it in the private products, basically, right?
Very
And
good.
obviously, tax benefits are better, returns are also typically better, right?
Yes. Right.
Fantastic. Okay. So here comes another one. So let's say somebody has not fully utilized their Section 80C limit of the base limit of 1.5 lakhs. Okay. So there are a lot of people like that, right? So in that scenario, should they still consider NPS? Why? would it matter to them? How is it a value add? Because
Okay.
I've heard that it is still valuable to invest, start invest in an early age.
Yes.
That is the other question that is very commonly asked.
Yes. 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 Good question. So for that, I will just like to share a calculator about NPS Trust website. So that gives us, that will give us a complete idea. Just allow me to share my screen.
Sure.
So what I'm understanding with this question is that let's say any individual whose ATC is not exhausted. So maybe the earning capacity will be lesser. Maybe say, let's say the employee CTC will be around 10 lakhs. Okay, so that's why his ATC is not been he has not fully utilized the ATC. For them, let's say he is the guy who just recently started his job, and his age will be around, let's say, 30 or 32. I'm keeping as 30, 32. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah, it is visible. You can
So
continue.
let's say he is doing a SIP of 2000 rupees per month. Okay, SIP in investment under individual scheme he is investing. I'm keeping everything the same. Return is 10%. I'm keeping it 10% only. As per 2000, last year the returns on NPS comes around 12%, irrespective of whatever option he choose. So let's say this guy is age of 32. 2000 is the value which he is investing every month on month in NPS. The total investment, if you see, what he has invested is 6 lakh 72 is the value which he has invested in NPS. As you said, the benefits of investing early, power of compounding. So here we can see that power of compounding in an amazing way. Considering 10% returns, their total corpus went to 36 lakh 91,000. Now, power of compounding here. Now, if he wants to withdraw 60%, you can see the value 22 lakhs. That means more than 3 times he can withdraw. Okay, 22 lakh as a cash which he can withdraw, which will be completely tax free. Remaining amount 40% will go in pension scheme, and this much of pension 7,383 he or she will get throughout his life by making 2,000 in monthly investment. Let's say if he's not withdrawing anything, he's putting entire money in NPS scheme. See the difference, 18,000. Okay, monthly by making 2,000, he will get monthly pension 18,458. So let's say one more example. He just recently started his job. Let's say it's the first company where he joined, and he is doing an SIP of 2,000 per monthly. So with this equation, we can see the total investment he made in NPS that comes around 10 lakh 8,000. That value has grown to 1 crore 56 lakh. See the difference, because power of compounding, because early as soon as we start, the total withdrawal amount is something comes like 93 lakh 70,000. Amazing. By investing 2,000, remaining amount will go in pension scheme, and this much of pension he will get every month on month throughout his life. Let's say in another way around, if he's not withdrawing anything, 78,000 which he is getting every month on month by making 2,000 investment every month on month, right from the day till 860. So this is what impacts it. If you start early, no higher the corpus you will get, because the power of compounding plays a very important role in this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to add to that, so in the graphs that you shared, right? So it assumes that the person is not in the tax bracket ever, right? But that is
Yes,
definitely not the case. So a
yes,
person will eventually be in the tax bracket. So they're actually saving on the investment section 80 CCD2,
yes, yes,
all of that. Not to mention the maturity. On maturity, they don't have to pay any taxes, right? So if you actually calculate all the money that is saved on taxes, which wouldn't have happened in a typical investment in regular stocks or other investment instruments. The returns of 1.5 crores and whatever was calculated there, it is actually secretly much higher,
actually.
right? Right. So
The
that's another
effective
thing.
returns is much more, because by
Yeah.
investment in doing investment in NPS, he is saving on tax. That is altogether separate. That is not included in this calculator.
Correct. So we actually need to design a calculator which calculates reinvesting the amount that is saved on taxes every year, and that'll be an interesting thing. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. That's true. That's true.
Right. So another question is, let's say somebody is 50 years old, right? 40, 50, 55 years old, even 60, 65. Let's keep the window open. They're not young. We are discussing about the power of compounding till now, right? And the benefits of starting early. Now let's discuss why it makes sense for somebody uh, at that age to still consider NPS.
Yeah. So, personal level, if I say on personally, any age is, I mean, it's a good age to start NPS. So let's say any employee or any subscriber who start NPS at the age of 55 or after 60, say, what benefit they will get. So first benefit is they will get tax benefit. That is with there. By making investment by 50,000 also, if they do, upfrontly 15,000 he is saving on tax. Okay. So if we do an opportunity cost analysis also, there is no product available in the market which gives upfront 30% of tax benefit. Okay, so that is the one key differentiator. Second thing, what I have personally come across is many of the investor they have superannuation account. Okay, so early they work with some company and they accumulated some superannuation account. So by opening NPS account, by making a transfer of superannuation to, because that's allowed as per PFRD guidelines, you can transfer your superannuation money in NPS. So that is allowed. So if you do that, that also gives you one more investment avenue, where in superannuation the investment will get invested in government securities which gives you returns around 7 to 8%, but in NPS that funds get traded, so their returns will be higher in NPS. NPS, yes. And plus when you retire you can withdraw high amount, because in superannuation you can withdraw only 30%, 33 to be very precise, but in NPS you can withdraw 60%. So any age you can start opening, you can open your NPS account. That's why PFRD has also, that's why they have opened the window. If your age is between 80 to 70, even after age 60 also, you can open the NPS account and you can take the benefit. So any age is good. Any age is good. Unless until it provides you the, it fulfills the financial goal.
Correct, correct. So again, I would like to give a anecdotal example on this. So I have recently opened NPS accounts for my retired pension parents. Right, both my parents are retired, and they draw a pension which is taxable. Right, they come in the tax bracket. So we opened NPS accounts for them, and they're easily shaving off 50,000 rupees every year from the taxable income, as you
Okay.
said, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's something that I would recommend everyone to do.
Okay.
It's never too late to start, and it's never too early to start
Yeah.
NPS, right? So moving on, um, another common comparison that people make, right, with NPS in the similar product baskets is, let's say, with PPF and with ELSS, right? So can we draw a comparison on why it makes better sense to consider NPS over PPF or ELSS in a 30-year time frame, in a long-term retirement time frame?
Yeah. So PPF, it's a very good investment scheme, investing in PPF, and considering if fixed regular returns, if we say, so PPF, it has generated around 7.5 to 8%, which is a very good investment tool for those employees who are looking for fixed return. The PPF is there. If I compare with NPS, NPS has a upper hand on that, because investment in PPF will give you tax benefit under ATC, but in NPS it is over and above ATC. That is there. Plus the returns perspective. If I see the, okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so we'll talk about the returns part also. So return parts, if I say the returns, if I calculate for time horizon of, let's say, 7 years, okay, so the return, we can see that the returns is more than that. So it's not 8%. You can see the 7 years part over here. This is for equity scheme which I shared. That you can see that it is almost like double digit
Yeah.
on an average
Samuel,
12.
yeah,
Yeah.
Samuel, could you zoom in a little bit?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is the
perfect,
Excel which
perfect.
I've downloaded.
Yeah,
So this is
perfect.
the fund performance of each fund houses. So if I calculate return for 7 years, is around comes around 12%, lowest around 12%, maximum is, comes around 14.30. Same way, if I go for corporate bonds, now this is for corporate bonds. Even here also, it is more than 8%, more than 8%. Yeah, in this is for government securities, which I'm again here it is higher than 8%. So if I calculate time horizon for 7 years also, on an average, it crosses like 10.5%. So returns on NPS is higher side compared to PPF. And the third part is okay, this is what I told us. Then that's it. That's it. So this is the two key differentiator with PF and NPS, returns and the tax benefit.
Yeah, so it is the comparison actually a little bit funny, right? Because if we actually compare the withdrawal portion of NPS, assuming 10-11% returns, 60% of 1 crore, which is 60 lakhs, let's say, that is usually typically higher than the entire corpus generated via PPF. So
Very,
in a
very true.
way, NPS is PPF with a free pension attached to it. That's how I look at
Actually,
it,
yes, yes.
right?
As we saw in the calculator, the
Correct.
amount
Yeah.
which we are investing, that we are already getting it when we
Yes.
retire. So,
So now moving on to ELSS,
okay.
equity linked. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are many differentiator which I would like to say one thing. In ELSS, what happens is 80% of the investment that get invested in equity. Okay, that is one. In NPS, 75% get invested in equity, maximum if I go. But in NPS, we have an option of flexibility. If I want, I can change this asset allocation. Whereas in ELSS, it is not. It is not. Then your money is locked for 3 years, irrespective of market. If market is booming, your ELSS will go. Investment in ELSS will value will go higher. If market is fall down, even after 3 years or 4 years, you can't do anything because market is down. But in NPS, because of option of flexibility, that means change of scheme, you can reshuffle your investment scheme. That is one. That is the one major benefit. Second thing is tax benefit. ATC, in investment in NPS, that will give you tax benefit under section ATC. Investment in NPS, it is over and on above this. So only apart from liquidity, okay, apart from liquidity, there is no positive over ELSS. So NPS has the upper hand compared to ELSS here also.
Yeah. I would argue liquidity is a hidden strength, right?
Yes, yes,
Because as if we have access to funds, it's human nature to use it and break the chain of compounding and not get the benefit of it.
yes,
I
yes.
like the fact that NPS severely restricts your ability to prematurely withdraw, right? So that ensures financial discipline, and that is where long term compounding wealth creation happens when we let it run, right?
Very true. I agree
So
with you. And so maybe this is a strongest point in NPS, that you
exactly.
can't withdraw money because you have invested in a money with a purpose that I need this money when I retire. So that solves the purpose. So maybe a few of them, they might look this as a negative part, but this negative part is the strongest part in of NPS.
Absolutely,
I agree with you.
absolutely agree with you. Right. Thank you. That was a wonderful answer. So we have talked a lot about the 60%, right? How it's tax free and all of that. So can you shed a little bit more light on the various kinds of annuity products? So 40% of your entire corpus, just to recap, is used to purchase an annuity product, right?
Yes.
So an annuity product is the product by companies like Tata Pension, HDFC, right? You get an option that will give you your pension going forward.
Yes. Yes.
Now, what's interesting here is that there are a lot of options of various kinds of structures of pension, right? If you want return of corpus, you have a lot of options over there. So, can you please shed light on that? Because I'm sure people will be interested in hearing that there is a lot of flexibility there.
Yes. 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 Surely. Again, I'll share my screen. And so I will be sharing the screen which I have calculated for myself, assuming, let's say I have invested 1 crore in annuity scheme. So is my screen is visible?
It is visible, but if you could zoom in a little bit, yeah,
That's
a little
fine.
bit more. Perfect.
Okay, so this is website of NSDL and CRA. So it's a public available domain, so you can also access this. So here, what I have done is I have inputted my data. Let's assume today is my age 60. Okay, and I have invested, let's say, 1 crore. So 1 crore is the annuity corpus which I have invested. and I'll be taking pension monthly. So monthly is the payout. So as we see in the screen, okay, I'll zoom this. So these are the companies on my left hand side. You can see these are the annuity service provider. So under NPS scheme, there are 13 annuity service provider registered till today. And okay, before that, sharing this is just for information which I'm sharing as for today. Okay, so when we get retired, obviously this numbers will be different. So at that time we have to wisely select which option to choose. So I'll just give you a small light. Here we can see in this screen there are two differentiator, with return of purchase price and without return of purchase price. And these are the annuity option: annuity for life, joint and life annuity, NPS family income, then again annuity for life. So let's understand one by one. Now annuity for life, now what here will happen, what here will happen. So this is the value which we can see on the screen. We can see the rate what each company is providing it. So accordingly we can select the annuity. So let's say annuity for life. Now here what will happen, I will get the pension till my life. Okay, I'm explaining the types of annuity. So I will get the pension till my life. If anything happens to my life, my wife will get the pension till her life. After that, okay, if anything happens to her life, if my dependents are there, my families are there, then they will get the pension till their life. After that, entire 40% will be returned. It will be returned. Purchase price will be returned to my nominee. So in case of joint life, yeah, what will happen? I will get the pension till my life. After that, my wife will get the pension till her life. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. So annuity for life, yeah, what will happen? I will get the pension till my life. After that, pension will stop and entire 40% will be given to my nominee. So whoever my nominees are, they will get the pension. In case of joint life, I will get the pension till my life. If anything happens to me, my wife will get the pension till her life. After that, annuity in the entire value will be given to my nominee. The 40% which I invested, which I purchased the annuity, entire value will be returned by the company to my nominee. In case of family income, which I just shared just few minutes before, I will get the pension till my life. After that, my wife will get the pension till my life. After that, my dependents will get the pension till my life. After that, the entire value will be given to my nominee. In case of second option, without return of purchase price. Now, this column is very important because this carries higher interest rate compared to return of purchase price. Here, we will get the pension till our life. Okay, let me explain you how. So, in first case, annuity for life, I will get the pension till my life. Anything happens to me, pension will stop and entire 40% will be retained by the company. Now, why this differentiated? You can clearly see the rates. You can see that a different interest rate. So that is annuity for life. Joint life case, in this case, what will happen? I will get the pension till my life. Anything happens to me, my wife will get the pension till her life. After that, pension will stop and entire 40% will be retained by the company. So this is the website. All the details are mentioned, as I said, which I have explained. It is already mentioned in the website. So in Google Chrome, you can just type NSDL CRA and .co.in. So on this website, you just input all this data in the field, and you can see how much you will get the pension by putting the amount, annuity amount.
Fantastic, fantastic. I mean, I saw the return percentage close to 9%, right? For not return of equity,
Yes,
or
yes.
not return of corpus, let's say.
Corpus.
It's pretty high. And
Pretty
with the
high.
return of corpus, the rate of interest quoted there, which is around close to 7%, which is much higher than what people typically do, right? People take, let's say, 1 crore or whatever their retirement corpus is, and they put it in FD or some other instruments, right? Debt
Yes,
funds,
yes.
and they get a monthly payout. This actually rivals that.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Amazing.
amazing.
So I think one caveat here is that when we say everything is tax free, the one angle where NPS is taxable is if your pension is big enough to cause, taxation,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
So
yeah,
they will be taxed as per senior citizen tax slab.
correct, correct. Which isn't much, so
No.
not a big deal,
Yes, yes.
right? So speaking of which, yeah, speaking of senior citizens, is there a life insurance attached with NPS or is it a pure retirement investment product?
Yeah, so NPS is completely purely retirement investment scheme. Life insurance is not associated or not linked with it. The reason is because our regulator identifies these schemes, NPS scheme, as a retirement scheme. Okay, so by adding insurance or life cover in this scheme, what will happen is it adds to the cost. So our cost of investment will be higher because in NPS, in life insurance scheme, there's a concept called mortality charges. Okay, so that get increased every year on year. So the idea of promoting NPS, that is one part, of course. Second is the idea of promoting NPS is that our employees, that is senior citizen or individuals, Indian citizen, they should get pension. So when I say pension, that the idea is that they will live long. That is the idea behind that. So with that purpose, NPS provides it is designed in it that way that they will get the pension when get retired, not looking at that what if happens to the life. So for that we have another very good schemes available in the market like term insurance or any term insurance ULIP. We have that. So that if that solves the purpose, then fair enough. But in NPS, just looking at the cost structure and the purpose that employee investors should get a retirement, that pension they should get. With that purpose, insurance is not covered under NPS scheme.
Correct, correct. So in short, NPS has a very positive outlook on its subscribers that they live till
Long.
100 years, right?
Yeah, they
It's
will
a
live
positive
long.
product, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so having a term insurance definitely does cover the unfortunate event of death of subscriber, right? Separately.
Yes.
So always something everyone recommends. One more thing, in the duration, I think you covered it in your presentation, but just to reiterate, in case of the death of the subscriber at any time, let's say before age 60. So what happens? What happens to the entire? Let's say at age 59, I have accumulated around 2 crores in my NPS account. What happens
Yeah.
if in the unfortunate event of my death,
In
age
case
59?
for individual subscriber, then entire value will be given to a nominee. So it will come into the bank account completely. No tax will be debited. With the example which you said about 2 CRs. So entire value will be given to the nominee.
So
So
there is no
nominee,
restriction on 60%. Nothing like
no,
that.
no, nothing will happen. So
Okay.
entire 100% will be given to nominee. So nominee, then after that they can take a call whether they want to reinvest somewhere or they can start with pension. So they can connect annuity service provider, available annuity service provider, and they can select the best quote and they can start the pension if they require. Or else for government employees, it is mandatory. Immediately they can't withdraw. The nominee will not get the money in case of
Excellent.
government scheme. So entire value will be go to annuity scheme and pension will start immediately. But for retail, for open market, yes, 100% withdraw. It will given to 100%, not to the nominee.
Got it. So I'm assuming government employees get their pension through this NPS scheme only, right? I
Yes.
mean
So
that
after
is something. Yeah. I mean
so
that is
after
something every month around I think 10 to 14% of their salary is invested into NPS, and that is how they get their pension,
yes. So
right?
and
So
all
if
the employees who joined after 2004, they are covered under this scheme, and this
correct,
scheme is mandatory for them. For government is mandatory, but for us, for private players, for subscriber open individuals, we have to voluntarily opt for this scheme.
correct, correct. So for everyone aspiring, I mean everyone sort of looks at government employees with a sense of envy that they have pension and we
Yes,
do not, right? So it's a choice, right? And we have the
exactly.
choice to basically start our NPS account. We'll get, in fact, we have more flexibility with our NPS product than government employees do, as you
Very
just
true.
said, right? That
Very
we
true.
have
Very true.
control over our money. Government employees have certain restrictions, right, within the framework on investments, on returns, and all that. That is not present for private individuals like you and I.
Very true. Very true. Very true. I completely
Okay,
agree with you.
correct, correct, correct. Nice. And I'd like to close with one last question, which has come up, right? So let's say I want to choose, right? As in, like, I do not want to. I started my NPS account, let's say already. Okay. In For this year, I know I have a little bit of a cash crunch. Okay, in a hypothetical scenario, I would like to not invest in NPS much at all. can I do that, or do I have to invest a particular amount every month? Is there a mandatory SIP option? Like, how does it work? Like,
Okay.
can I not invest for a
Okay.
period of time?
Yeah, thank you very much for highlighting this question, because this is also one of the differentiator compared to retirement scheme and the NPS. So NPS, the minimum value which you can invest to keep your account active is 1,000 rupees in a year. Okay, so where in case of private schemes, there is a fixed premium which you have to pay in a year. Let's say 25,000, that 25,000 you have to pay, or else your scheme will be inactive. So in NPS, it's like it's completely flexibility is there. Whenever I have money in my bank account, I can transfer money. So I can do an SIP also by creating a virtual account number. So that is called de-remit facility, which is I can opt for that de-remit facility. I can create a virtual account number and I can add in my net banking, and I can set up a standing instruction. With that, my SIP, monthly SIP, I can do that. Or else ad hoc investment. So let's say today I got my bonus or some profit profit it got credited in my account. So I can invest that money by logging to NSDL application or K FinTech application or any website, okay, CAMS application, and I can invest money in my NPS account. So complete flexibility is that in NPS. So it's not like that if I started my NPS, let's say 50,000, because many of the investors say that I started my NPS with 50,000. So next year also I have to invest 50,000 only. It's not like that. So let's say today you can start your NPS account by investing 500 rupees also. Okay. So minimum in a year, what as per PFRD rules is 1,000 rupees in a year to keep your account active. Okay, you can invest as much you can, but the minimum value to keep on your investment account active is 1,000 rupees in a year.
That's awesome. So with just 1,000 rupees in an entire year, I can make an investment of 1,000 rupees, and that's all I have to do. No restrictions on
No restrictions.
keeping on investing. That's amazing,
That's it. Yes.
right? And to the point that you talked about, right, about bonus and everything. So we never know when that money gets over. When we
Yeah.
see a few lakhs in our bank account, we need to get rid of it, right? That's human nature. So
Mm.
for people who are looking for ways in which they want to like have very constrained financial discipline imposed on themselves, it's a very good idea to just take a part of that bonus, invest in NPS, and say goodbye to it. You
Yes.
can see that later.
Yeah. Right.
So I think that was an awesome session, I must say. I mean, you clarified a lot of pressing questions and like doubts that people had, right? So these are over the period of time, these were the questions that kept coming, right? Customers had
Yes.
these queries. Thank you very much for the session, the Q&A, and I'd like to thank Tata AMC, Tata Pension for this session as well, right? This was very useful. I'm sure a lot of our subscribers and eventual viewers are gonna really take value out of this, and they're gonna
Yes.
open their NPS account soon, right? So the link for account opening, as well as the link to the Moneyfy application has been given in the description to this video, right? So everybody who's interested can go ahead and download the app, invest in NPS through Moneyfy, right? So that we can do. And with this, I think we are coming to an end of this wonderful session, right? Thank you very much, Samuel.
Thank
Till
you.
next
Thank you,
time.
Anthony. Thank you very much.